Well, welcome back to our family worship lesson, the last one for this week, looking at Hebrews 6, verses 9 through 12. And I want to read that passage for us. It says there, "Though we speak in this way, yet in your case, beloved, we feel sure of better things, things that belong to salvation. For God is not unjust so as to overlook your work and the love that you have shown for his name in serving the saints as you still do. And we desire each one of you to show the same earnestness, to have this full assurance of hope until the end, so that you may not be sluggish, but imitators of those who through faith and patience inherit the promises." And this lesson will be fairly short on my part, because I'm going to encourage you to examine your own family's approach or condition. And I want us to look specifically at verse 12, where it talks about that we are to be imitators. And we're to be imitators of people that manifest two kinds of our qualities. The first one is faith. The second one is patience. And so faith, of course, deals with our understanding of the gospel. But faith without works is dead, says James 2. And so we want to make sure that we understand, that our children understand that faith is more than just having head knowledge. It's also living and trusting ourselves to the Lord Jesus Christ as we live. So that's number one. We want to understand faith, and so you can talk to them, remind them of what it is that the scriptures call them to believe in and trust in. Okay, and then the second thing is this patience, and the patience has to do with waiting. We are waiting to inherit the promises in their fullness. Jesus Christ, his kingdom has been inaugurated by his death on the cross, his resurrection, but he has not returned, and so we still live in a condition of sin and misery. And so we want to make sure that we have a patient attitude towards the inheritance that is yet future in some sense. So I want to leave those principles with you, but then really beyond that, I want to encourage you to have a time of self-examination with your children, with your spouse, with yourself, as you think through, am I living in faith? Am I living patiently awaiting the inheritance? And I can't answer that question for you. And I can't answer the question of where that might be weak, but be sincere and be transparent, be honest as you think through those things, because they are of great importance. So make sure your children understand faith and patience. Make sure they understand it in light of Christ. And think carefully then about whether or not your family needs to adjust, needs to be restored to their life of faith, needs to be patient before the Lord and trusting in him, even in the hardships of life, with the inheritance that he has promised will be visited upon you. So teach that to your children, set that before them. Look forward to more family worship lessons next week. God bless you tomorrow as you worship the Lord with God's people, whether it be via live stream during this COVID-19 pandemic, or whether you're able to worship in person in your congregation. I pray that you would be encouraged by the preaching of God's word and worship of the saints. God bless you, and we'll see you next time.